So I am working on getting my teacher's license, and I've been doing my full-time teaching, my solo teaching, and there was one class in particular that right from the get-go was basically just a nightmare class for me. And I had taken all these pedagogy classes, and the program I'm in, we've worked on creating positive behavior support plans and RTI pyramids and problem-solving protocols, all these things. And I had 3 other classes that I was using all this stuff that I learned in school, and it was working beautifully for these classes. Even though I had challenging students in these classes too, it was working really well. But then I would take the same methods that I was using in these classes and try and use those methods with my problem class, and everything was just feeling miserably every day. It was just a nightmare. Nothing would work. And so to give a couple examples of some of the things that would happen in this class, I had one student who would sit in the back, and she would get talking to all of the people around her about how we didn't have to do what she says, and she's not a real teacher, and we don't have to listen to her, we don't have to do anything. Which just everybody back there then in the back of the room just got to the point where nobody took me seriously as a teacher at all. And I had another student, 2 students actually, that would have a habit of just blurting things out loudly, random things that had nothing to do with what we were learning about in the middle of my instruction. The kids, I'm going to be a science teacher, so we do a lot of inquiry-based lessons, and the kids have plenty of time to work in groups and talk. But during the explain piece of the lesson, when I would be trying to give directions, that's when these 2 students would decide that they just wanted to blurt something out. And to make it matters worse, the 2 kids that would do this actually hated each other. So when one would blurt something out, oftentimes the other one would stand up and say something like, "Oh, you're so stupid, that's stupid," or whatever. And then I'd have like a shouting match that would happen across the class. So I'd have to calm that situation down, and it just completely would derail the entire lesson. I had another student who was kind of the prankster of the class, and he would wait again until I was trying to explain something, and then he'd get up to like sharpen his pencil or get a drink of water or whatever, and he'd start singing or dancing or pinch a little girl to get a reaction, and again just completely derailing the lesson. And then the last student I'll give an example about, she would talk to her peers about how it was like a game for her to get under her teacher's skin. And she bragged about the fact that she could break down any teacher. And it was like a game for her to do that. So, I talked to some of the other teachers about it, tried to get their advice, what do I do? And not that they were trying to be mean, but they just laughed at me because they said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you have all 5 of those kids in the same class at the same time. Like, what luck? How did that happen?" And nobody knew what to do. And I just felt like I left the class every day in tears, just feeling completely beat up and hopeless and tired.